Hello, and welcome to another episode of B.T.F.O. Today we're going to be talking about Companion, the 2025 movie. So I guess I'll just start with I would recommend this movie. I thought it was really neat. I would also recommend, if you haven't seen a trailer for it, don't watch a trailer for it. Maybe watch trailer number 1, but I wouldn't watch trailer number 2 in particular. But I would just sort of go in blind, know that you'll probably have a good time, and I'd recommend it. But now, kind of moving into spoilers here, because so this was kind of interesting, where I went and saw this with my friend, and luckily he had managed to not really see any but the first trailer for this, because the second trailer reveals that she's a robot, and that to me, because I was like, okay, maybe that's maybe that gets revealed pretty early on, but it's like, no, that's your second act reveal point, or the start of your second act is her finding out that she's a robot. And it's like, oh, yeah, that would have been really nice to not have known that going into the movie. I did appreciate, though, because that's one thing where I do want to go see this again. But knowing that she was a robot, it was kind of nice to see all the little ways that it's oh yeah, she's referred to as a creature or a creation, or perfectly built, stuff like that. That was kind of nice. The movie has a lot of reincorporation and subtle dialogue as well, which was just really nice, all throughout it, to be able to go, oh, okay, yeah, they brought this thing back, or oh, okay, I see what you're doing there. And I quite liked it. Because it feels a little light on, the whole exploration of what does it mean to be a person type thing. It basically, once it reveals that oh yeah, she's a robot, they don't really do a whole lot of exploration into oh, what does it mean to be a human or a robot. They're just sort of no, she is a robot, and she is functionally different than a person. And it's okay, that's, I mean, you can do that. It just feels a little not that the whole robot being human thing, not that hasn't been done a million times over, but it's well, there's a reason why it keeps getting done, because it's a really interesting concept. But I did appreciate the story that they do tell anyways. I did appreciate, because this is, unfortunately, I think this is a movie that I could very much see some people that might go, oh, this is woke garbage, oh, fucking female empowerment nonsense, because there is a bit of social commentary in there, but I think it's well, so the film is very, at least to me, it seems very aware of the social commentary that it's making. And it's also very clear to be no, like these are bad people. That it's not, like Jack Quaid's character isn't, he's not, Josh isn't some like regular Joe that this all happens to. It's like, no, he's fucked up like before this all happens. Like, he is a bad person. His friends are bad people. Like, it's like that. Like, it's just not. Like, arguably by the end of the movie, like Sergei is like the only good person, which is kind of fun. But I really appreciated a lot of the littler details in this. The acting is really good, which I'm actually really glad for the main actress. I'm trying to remember her name. Sophie Turner, I think is what it is. But I'm really glad that, like, because Heretic, she got to show off some of her acting skill, but it's nice to see someone who got their big break with the Book of Boba Fett, and it's like, oh, yeah, and you played one of the, like, most, like, despised characters in that. It's like, yeah, it's nice to see that a person with actual talent, that it's like, that's probably why she got the role on Book of Boba Fett, is because she had actual talent. And so it's nice to kind of see her being able to redeem herself and, like, actually prove that, like, no, I have acting skill. And so it's like, that was Sophie Thatcher, that's what it is. But yeah, it was really neat to see her, like, actually show off different, like, emotions, and that, like, yeah, she does have quite a bit of range. And it was also kind of nice that this movie, I don't really, like, I never got the sense that it was really pulling its punches, which was really nice, where, like, it's one of those movies that does feel like it is rated R, and it understands that, and it understands that its audience are adults. It's like, yep, like, and it doesn't feel like it ever goes overboard, where it's like, oh yeah, this is all just, like, super gory for gore's sake, and, like, there's no nudity, but it's like, well, I mean, if you're gonna have the character be a sex robot, like, yeah, it might be good to show off for the audience, like, yeah, this is why it would be appealing as a sex robot. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like, that's, good. Like, I'm glad that it wasn't kind of ashamed to be like, oh, well, like, we did hire an attractive person to play this in-universe attractive character, but we wouldn't want to, like, objectify them. And it's like, well, that's literally the point of the movie, though, is that, like, all these other characters are objectifying them, like, so it would feel really weird if the movie was, like, very self-conscious about that, and so I'm glad that it wasn't. But yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend Companion. Do I think it's the greatest movie ever? No. But it's a good time, and it's a good movie, and so I'd recommend it. And I think that's going to be it for my brief thoughts on Companion. So, thank you for watching, and bye-bye.